Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. So today I am very quickly going to go over the basic concepts of ideology and social construction, just because these are really foundational and fundamental, not just in the discipline of comp and ret, but also just generally speaking in cultural studies. So what exactly is ideology? One of the ways that I like to think about it is that it's a set of beliefs and assumptions that pre-exist us. Okay, so when we're born into the world, there are these sets and belief systems that we are socialized into. And there often is a dominant ideology. And the dominant one is what we are socialized into, right? And because it is possible for us to be socialized into these systems of thought, it makes sense to conclude that these systems of thought are not real. They're social constructions. They construct the idea of gender. They construct the idea of race. They instruct, right? So they construct all of these concepts that we take for granted. They construct the idea of nation. And hegemony, that term, is applied to when the ideology becomes dominant, okay? And so one example of a dominant ideology would be gender expectations. We are, and again, in the world that you all have been born into and are, existing in, it's, it's not like it was in the Victorian period, right, in the 19th century. But still, there are ideas about gender that we do internalize and are socialized in, at least in Western culture, often. An example would be that women are less aggressive, right, sexually than men, okay? Romantically, whatever, right? They're not going to make the first move, etc. Another one would be that it's really difficult to figure out how to make a woman orgasm, right? That the vagina is this kind of like mysterious, entity, and that the penis just, it is what it is, and it makes total sense, and it's orgasming, yeah, there's no problem. So these are stories that we inherit, that the vagina is not inherently mysterious and difficult to understand and conceptualize. Okay, so this is part of the mystery of women, right? Men not understanding women. And that becomes the dominant ideology. The dominant ideology is constructed from a masculine lens. Okay, so the masculine lens doesn't understand women, doesn't appreciate women, okay, and doesn't appreciate their voices and stories. So I just want to give like a little bit of, teeny bit of historical background. It's not from very long ago, it's from 2017, just so we can have an idea of what we're going to be talking about primarily on Thursday. So in 2017, August 11th to the 12th, I don't know if you all remember this. I'm not sure how old you were, but there was the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. I was about to say North Carolina, in Charlottesville, Virginia, which is where UVA is, and this became a battleground over the ideology of race, history, and nation in the U.S. Okay, so and that particular rally is an example of an artifact, right? We were reading in our readings, they were talking about the artifact, the rhetorical artifact, and the rally itself can be analyzed. Okay, so we're not simply talking about speeches, texts, like that all can be rhetorically analyzed. But the actual rally itself, okay, that is something that we're going to be talking about. The culture clash, right, fights over, what should be the dominant ideology, who's the audience, right, and all these kinds of things. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about also some other protests and things like that were kind of inspired by or set into motion by this powder keg. Okay, and I remember when it happened. I had just moved to Charleston, South Carolina, and it was right before we started teaching, and there were all of these faculty meetings where we were going like, what are we going to do? Like, how do we deal with this in the classroom? Because this whole rally erupted by the University of Virginia. So it was very much entangled with the politics of the classroom and the university and all these kinds of things. So we'll also talk about all of that. So I'm really excited for our discussion on Thursday. For those of you who can make it, I think we'll have really fruitful and interesting conversations. And these conversations are going to help you for your rhetorical analysis to, again, understand it in an actual, I guess, practical way, what it means to do rhetorical analysis on an artifact, and in particular, ideological criticism. Okay, so what we're going to be doing on Thursday is I'm going to be kind of modeling that for you, so you have a better idea of what this could look like. So that is it for this lecture. You'll see that there's also a separate video where I just give you a heads up on logistics for the rest of the week. I want to make sure that that video is a lot shorter, and that you just get the bare bones of what you need to do for this week. So that's all, and I'm not quite sure if you made it to this point, but bravo if you did. Yeah, so again, I'm looking forward to our discussion, and yeah, I'll talk to you all later.